Well, there's no way we can skip this next stage in a woman's life. It's menopause. Yep. While it doesn't look the same for every woman, it's something we all go through. The symptoms can start in our 40s and last, well, seems like forever, certainly into our 60s. But we don't always talk about it. But we should, because we are all in this together. And Dr. Dina Gordon joins me now to talk about this. So menopause, significant milestone in every single woman on this planet's life. What is it and what age does it typically begin?
So menopause is by definition the last menstrual period. It's a specific event rather than a long stage.
Oh, okay.
And on average, it happens at about age 51 in our country, although it's really normal for it to happen anytime between 40 and maybe your late 50s.
Okay.
But the symptoms of it begin long before that, and then they can extend into the post-menopausal state.
Yay. Yeah. How fun.
Yeah.
So we're glad that you're here because you're going to help us talk about some of the symptoms and common signs that indicate someone might be going to menopause. I shouldn't say through menopause, right? Because if it's the thing, what is the correct way of saying this?
Yeah, I think through, because there's perimenopause, which is the state leading up to menopause.
All right.
Menopause is that event of the last period.
Okay.
And then postmenopause is kind of the whole stage beyond that.
Got it. All right.
And really common symptoms are vasomotor symptoms. So that includes hot flashes. It also includes night sweats. And those are some of the sort of meanest and most common symptoms that begin before
you're
menopause.
like, oh, I'm not dying. This is menopause.
Right, but sometimes people do think they're dying.
Well, that's what Susie, my producer, said. She goes, sometimes when you get a hot flash, your heart stutters for a second. You think, like, this is it.
Yep, palpitations,
Oy.
Extreme anxiety sometimes can go with that. And of course, sleep disturbances, which have a huge impact on our quality of life, our mental health, and all of those kinds of things.
Oh, wow. Isn't being a woman grand? No, it really is. I love being a woman, but I need to know that there is going to be some things we can do. Like, what are the first steps I take once this starts happening?
I mean, so the thing is that menopause looks different for everybody, right? And so you ask what the most common symptoms are, and vasomotor, but some people have no symptoms. I know, those lucky folks. So we don't take action for patients who are not symptomatic.
Okay.
But also, it doesn't have to be severe to do something, right? I think there's long been this feeling that just suck it up, this is part of being a woman, and it doesn't have to be like that.
No.
And so hormone replacement therapy, or now we call it menopause hormone therapy, can be hugely impactful for people. And for some people, there's non-hormonal options that we can use to address their symptoms. It just is really an individualized plan that we make.
That's good to hear, because I think that's where I think people don't really know. I don't want to wear a patch. I don't want to get this. They don't even know. And it affects quality of life so much.
Yep.
Swedish has a home menopause clinic. Tell us what you do there. Like, if I'm to come in and be like, help, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, I try to help you, first of all.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Dr. Gordon.
Yeah. I start by trying to understand what your main symptoms are.
Okay.
And then we take a detailed medical history to figure out what are some options that you could use, what are some options you might not be able to use, right? There are contraindications to certain medication options. And so we work together to sort of address your biggest concerns, whether that's the vasomotor symptoms, your sexual health. We talk about sex a lot in my clinic because that's an important part of quality of life and people's well-being.
Yeah.
And we will also, we'll go through all the things, and then we talk about what the options are, and we really use shared decision making.
Yeah.
I also work closely with women's health cardiologists and with women's brain health. And
great.
Yeah, so we try to figure out, is this sounding like it's within the realm of normal? Is this more extreme? Do we need to really build a comprehensive team to help with that life transition and stage?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that you existed.
Yeah.
Aren't you happy? Because it's so many things. Like, you talk about sex. Sex changes in menopause, and women don't really know how to handle it or have this discussion. So I'm glad that you're handling that. Before I let you go, we got about a minute left.
Yeah.
Hormone replacement therapy, is this something that we talked about that a little bit, but maybe some other therapies that are emerging that you see?
Yeah, so there are a host of non-hormonal options, and some of those have been around for a long time. So some of the antidepressant medications like SSRIs and SNRIs can work really well for hot flashes. There's medication. There's a medication called gabapentin, which can be used for hot flashes as well. It's been used for other purposes for many years at this point. And then there's a newer medication called Veoza on the market that targets the hypothalamus, which is a totally different approach to treating hot flashes, non-hormonal, safe for cancer survivors, and can be really great. And that's separate from, for folks who have just genitourinary symptoms, we can target those separately as well.
My goodness.
So
glad you exist.
Thanks.
So glad the entire center exists. If you want to find out more about the menopause and the menopause clinic at Swedish, go to the website you see on your screen. And here's a tip apparently I got from producer Susie. She says put a fan in every room and keep one in your purse at all times, and that'll help. But maybe we need to talk to her about getting some of those medications.
Special presentation of New Day Northwest, sponsored by Providence Swedish.